This is the Practical Homeopathy Podcast, episode number 170.
Hi, I'm Joette Calabrese, and I welcome you to our healthcare movement, yours, mine, and the countless men and women across the globe who have retaken control of their family's health with practical homeopathy. So, for the next few minutes, let's link our arms as I demystify homeopathy, what was once considered an esoteric paradigm, into an understandable, reproducible, safe, and effective healthcare solution available to all. This is the medicine you've been searching for. My unique brand of homeopathy, practical homeopathy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Practical Homeopathy Podcast. I'm Kate, and I'm so glad that you're here with us today. I can't wait to introduce you to our special guest. If you've ever felt stuck between conventional medicine and natural options, or if you've wondered whether homeopathy could really work for serious, everyday family health challenges, today's episode is going to speak straight to your heart. Joining us today is Erin. She's a registered nurse with decades of experience. She's also a mom, a breast cancer survivor, and now a successful homeopath. Erin went from being deeply skeptical of the little white sugar pills to using practical homeopathy confidently for everything from insomnia and vertigo to abscesses, injuries, and chronic conditions in her family. So, Erin, I want to welcome you to the podcast. It's so great to have you here. Finally, we've been waiting for the listeners to hear your story.
Thank you, Kate. I am so happy to be here.
Oh, I'm happy you're here. So let's start at the beginning. You are a registered nurse, have been for many years, and you follow the conventional medicine paradigm with your family. What finally made you start looking for alternatives?
It actually started with our oldest child when he entered kindergarten. After about 2 weeks, the school called us and told us that he needed to be medicated because he couldn't sit still and he was too disruptive. My husband and I weren't willing to jump to medication as a first step. That led us down the common path many people take. We tried herbalism, essential oils, naturopathy, functional medicine, but everything felt so complicated and time-consuming, or just managing symptoms without really giving any lasting improvement. We stayed in those approaches for a while simply because we didn't know there was anything better.
Right. And then you faced a health crisis. Tell us about what that was and what happened afterward that led you to homeopathy, if you wouldn't mind sharing.
Oh, sure. So again, I was completely in the Western medicine paradigm with my routine checkups. And I went to just a regular scheduled appointment and they found something that led to more tests. Eventually, I ended up with a diagnosis of breast cancer. Again, I followed every recommendation they had. I did the surgery and the treatments, the whole protocol. But when it was over, I was left with all the side effects that I wasn't expecting, the months of insomnia with the crushing exhaustion and the brain fog and the anxiety. And then the constant vertigo started day and night. And I just really had no quality of life at that point. My mom kept telling me about this lady on the internet named Joette who had something that could help. She kept offering me these little white sugar pills. And at first I completely brushed it off. I thought my mom was falling for some internet charlatan. And I was genuinely concerned for her because now that became an extra worry that I didn't feel that I had, I guess, the brain power to deal with.
That's funny. So I think a lot of listeners can relate to that skepticism. So what finally made you try these little white pills?
Honestly, it was desperation. The insomnia was unbearable. And my thought was, if I can just sleep, maybe I can function again. So I agreed to try the remedy that my mom had learned from Joette's blog. It was coffea cruda. And within 3 days, I was sleeping again. I could not believe it. My mom never once said, "I told you so." She was very gracious in that regard. But a few days later, I mentioned how terrible my vertigo was. And of course, my mom said Joette had a protocol for that too. Even though I was still on the prescription medicine that was causing the vertigo, I decided to try it. It took about 10 days before I began noticing a real difference. And over many months, the vertigo finally improved significantly. I would say 90 to 95%. And I was amazed all over again.
Yeah, vertigo can be debilitating. So I can imagine you were very relieved. What came
Yes,
next for you was you wanting to go deeper and really study this. Tell me about that.
sure. I just kept thinking, why didn't I learn about this in nursing school? I knew that I needed to learn more. And that's when I heard that Joette was opening her Academy of Practical Homeopathy. My mom encouraged me to apply, even though I felt brand new to homeopathy. I decided to go ahead and try it. And I was part of the pioneer class of 2022. Then I went on to complete the mastery program, and now I'm in my third year of the mastermind program. It truly changed my life. I'm now living my dream of helping others, and I owe it all to Joette and my persistent mom and practical homeopathy.
Oh, what a long way you've come, Erin. I mean, think about it. You didn't even know what homeopathy was, and now this is a big part of your life, and you actually see clients. So it's very exciting.
Yes.
So, Erin, you've put together some top tips for listeners of this podcast who may be just starting out or a little hesitant. So I'd love it if you could go through them. And your first tip is don't wait to start. Can you explain what you mean by that?
Absolutely. Yes. Don't wait to start learning or using homeopathy. I think so many people feel like they need to learn everything first, or they need to clean up their diet or change all their habits before they can begin using homeopathy. But practical homeopathy meets you exactly where you are on your wellness journey. You don't have to be perfect or fully prepared. Just begin. Joette has wonderful resources on her website. You can just go to joettecalabrese.com and click on the New to Homeopathy link. You can also click on the link for her blogs or podcasts and just start listening and reading. I send these links out to people all the time because they are just so informative. I also think it's really important to find a community of like-minded people, your tribe, right? That's what we call it. And
Right.
now we talk about finding our tribe.
Mm-hmm.
A really great way to do that is to take the Gateway class that Joette has written.
It's called Gateway to Practical Homeopathy, and it's a study guide that you can use to guide you through a study of homeopathy.
Yes, I teach that class, and so do many others. It's a great way to meet other people who are wanting to learn homeopathy also.
Mm-hmm. And if you're looking for a community of people to do that with, once you purchase the Gateway to Practical Homeopathy study guide, there is a list of study group leaders on the website that you'll see. And also, Joette has a Facebook page called Joette's Study Group. Find your study group friends. So that's where people who are leading study groups post, I'm leading a study group starting next Thursday. And, they give all the information. So you could find a group of people there to go through your study guide with. That's great advice, Erin. I love that. Okay, let's move on to your second tip, Erin, which is about being patient with the homeopathic medicines. Talk to us about that.
I think this is probably the hardest part for most of us. It certainly was for me, the waiting for the homeopathic medicines to work, because homeopathy is not like taking Tylenol or Benadryl or something that forces our body to do something immediately. It's more like giving the body a set of instructions that it reads and follows at its own pace to bring itself back into balance. So for chronic issues, especially, patience is key. Sometimes you experience a quick resolution with the homeopathics, but it can also take time, as I said, especially when you're healing chronic conditions you've had for many years. Healing also isn't always linear. Sometimes it's 2 steps forward and 1 step back. There are good days and not so good days. But overall, from start to finish, we see that we're headed towards healing.
Kind of like when you had the vertigo, I imagine, Erin, is what you're talking about, when it didn't happen overnight that your vertigo was completely gone, but you mentioned it was days, that it gradually kept getting better.
Yes, exactly.
Great advice, Erin, to be patient with the medicines and consistent. I think that's the other thing. Yeah.
Right.
You have to take them. And your third tip gets to the heart of why so many of us are drawn to homeopathy. Tell us about that.
Yes, take control and conquer your fear. Practical homeopathy has removed so much of the fear surrounding illness in our family and replaced it with real hope. Since I took the first dose of coffea cruda, we've faced all sorts of challenges. My dad has suffered with tremors for many years. I was in the first year of the academy studies, and Joette spent a great deal of time teaching us about our homeopathic medicines, and she does it alphabetically. So fortunately for me, Cuprum metallicum was a C. It's at the beginning of the alphabet, and I learned about it pretty shortly in. I wanted to help my dad with the Cuprum for his tremors, and it did. Over the course of several weeks, we saw an improvement in his tremors for about 50%. But then it stopped. It plateaued right there. So I was concerned and I wanted to talk to Joette about what do we do now? But while I was having my consultation with Joette, my dad and my mom got together and decided, well, if a 60 worked, we'll try it in a 200C. And they switched that to a 200C. And he had had a head injury several years ago that had taken away all of his sense of smell and taste. And a few weeks on the 200C, suddenly he was able to smell and taste again. Not everything, but about 50%. So it was truly amazing. That head injury was old. It wasn't what I thought we were working on. I was just simply looking at the tremors. And we were able to help both with the same medicine.
That's so funny that they just went ahead and made that change. What a great thing. And we know that Cuprum is one of the top remedies, Cuprum metallicum, that is one of the top remedies for head injuries. So that's great.
Yes. Then I've used the first year of the Academy A, the beginning of the alphabet, arnica. At that point was the only remedy I had learned in the Academy. And I burnt my thumb on the hot burner of a stove, and it immediately turned white and kind of crispy. And I didn't know about other remedies other than arnica. So I just started taking arnica. I took like 3 doses and the pain went away and it never even blistered. So I was truly amazed by that as well.
Arnica never ceases to amaze me.
I know.
It's useful for so many things. Yeah.
Yeah. I have people ask me, well, can I use arnica for that? And I'm thinking, probably.
What else do you have, Erin?
So we've used, again, homeopathy for so many different things within our own family with internal abscesses and pleurisy, pneumonia, UTIs, migraines, chronic back pain, sciatica, poison ivy, allergies, eczema, road rash, essential tremors, the irregular heartbeat, frozen shoulder, low thyroid, high blood pressure, ADHD, dyslexia, anxiety. I mean, the list goes on. The practical homeopathy has risen to every single one of those challenges for us.
Well, that's amazing. And what an inspiring list. And I'm sure you have so much more that you could talk about. Before we wrap up today, is there anything else that you would like to share with our listeners?
Just that if you're feeling overwhelmed or skeptical like I once was, give it a chance. Start small, be patient, and watch what happens. The results can truly be life-changing.
Oh, Erin, thank you so much. That was beautiful. I appreciate you sharing your personal story that took you from a skeptical nurse and cancer survivor to a confident homeopath, and you're truly helping families every day. I love hearing what you're doing. Your journey is an encouragement to me and all of us. So, friends, if you're listening to this podcast and Erin's story resonated with you, I want to encourage you to share this with someone else that you know might be suffering as well and want to share homeopathy with. Consider, as Erin said, going to Joette's website and just starting reading her blogs and listening to the podcasts, and consider possibly even like Erin joining the academy at some point the next time a class opens up. As you said, Erin, so well, practical homeopathy helps us to be fearless, and it truly puts us back in the driver's seat of our health and the health of our families. So I want to thank you for listening today. Thank you, Erin, for being here. And until next time, Stay curious, be empowered, and use practical homeopathy to take charge of your health with confidence.
It's my honor to share many lessons on this simple method of using homeopathy for free without affiliates or advertising here in my podcasts, but also my blog posts and Monday Night Lives. But it's critical that you learn how to use these medicines properly. These podcasts should serve as only the beginning of your training. Peruse joetteslearningcenter.com to find fun study group opportunities and in-depth courses developed by subject. So with the proper training, you can join the thousands of students before you in developing the confidence and competence to protect the health of your family and loved ones with my brand of homeopathy, Practical Homeopathy.
You just listened to a podcast from internationally acclaimed homeopath, public speaker, and author, the founder of the Academy of Practical Homeopathy, Joette Calabrese. Joette's podcasts are available on all your favorite podcast apps. To learn more and find out if homeopathy is a good fit for your health strategy, visit practicalhomeopathy.com.